Federal Credit Union. You're looking live at Cruiser Arena here on the campus of Groveport Madison High School, where tonight the Cruisers will take on the number 3 ranked team in the state in Division 1, talking about Jeff Quackenbush and the Newark Wildcats. Hi, everybody. It's Rick Cooper, the voice of the Cruisers. It's great to have you with us here on the Groveport Sports Network. We do welcome you to Tuesday Night Hoops. They are presented by First Service Federal Credit Union. They are serving your community since 1956. The dedicated and friendly staff will help you meet your everyday banking and long-term goals. Switch for the savings and stay for the service. Find out more by calling 836-0100 or by visiting firstcu.com. We are in the midst of the Sedalia Dental pregame show as we count you down to tonight's Birch Tavern opening tip. A vitally important part of good dental care is a routine checkup for the entire family to catch any issues, prevent any new ones. Doctors Aaron and Katie Carroll and the team at Sedalia Dental promise to make your next trip to the dentist pleasant, comfortable, and welcoming. You can visit their brand new office at 337 Main Street in Groveport. Sedalia Dental says go Cruisers. Call them at 836-2222 or visit sedaliadental.com to schedule your appointment today. Well, the Cruisers come into this one tonight. They are 5-5 overall. They're 4-3 in the OCC Buckeye, which is good for 4th place in the 8-team division. Newark first, Reynoldsburg second, Pickerington Central third. They are coming off a 51-34 loss against an 11-2 Afrocentric team on Saturday night in the primetime game at the shot clock battle in the 6-1-4 at Ohio Dominican. It was only a 7-point game at halftime when the Nubians went on a 14-0 run over the first 7 minutes and 35 seconds of the third quarter before junior Izzy Cadolo finally stopped that run with a 3-point basket with 25 seconds left. The Nubians won the third quarter 16-3, and what was once a 7-point game turned into a 20-point advantage for Afrocentric, and really the basketball game was over at that point. The Nubians held the Cruisers to a season low 25% shooting from the field. Groveport Madison connected on just 4 of 25 on threes for 16% in their 3 most recent losses, and that would be Afrocentric, Pickerington Central, and Reynoldsburg. The Cruisers are a combined 10 of 65 from behind the arc for 15%. Sophomore Jordan Wagner was the lone Cruiser in double figures with 11, but he was 5 of 16 from the field and only 1 of 7 on threes. Tyreek Ruffin had a career-high 28 points on Friday night against Canal Winchester when he hit 4 of 5 threes. On Saturday night, a whole different scenario. He finished 2 of 12 shooting and finished with only 7 points. Senior Duron Gray led Afrocentric with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals on 6 of 12 shooting. And maybe the most telling stat from the loss, and it has been now 4 losses in the last 5 games, is that the Cruisers, the assist total is low. On Saturday night, only 7 assists against a team in Afrocentric that played zone the entire 32 minutes. So really should be swinging the basketball and moving it, and probably 12 to 15 assists. They end up with 4 in that game, and the Cruisers have only dished out 10 assists over the past 2 games combined. 1991 Newark alum Jeff Quackenbush brings the undefeated Newark Wildcats to Cruiser Arena tonight. They come in a perfect 13-0, and they are currently ranked the number 3 team in Division 1 in the state, behind only a couple teams out of the Cincinnati area, talking about number 1 Princeton and number 2 Lakota West. Lakota West still undefeated at 14-0. Princeton is the number 1 ranked team in the state with a loss on the card. They are currently 11-1. Like Groveport Madison, the Wildcats played in the shot clock event at Ohio Dominican. Newark played on Sunday afternoon. Groveport Madison played Saturday night. Newark played against a Final Four team from a year ago in Division 2, talking about Toledo St. Francis. They won that game 58-53. They trailed by 5 in that game at halftime, but they outscored the Knights 33-23 in the second half. The Knights lost that game despite shooting 51% from the field, and they held Newark to just 30% shooting 16 of 53. And you'll hear from Jeff Quackenbush in just a few moments what won that game for Newark. 19 offensive rebounds. Tyron Brooks, Zach Meister, Jake Quackenbush Quackenbush all had 4 apiece. They went plus 10 in overall rebounding margin, and they only turned it over 6 times, which was a major storyline in that basketball game as well. Senior Jake Quackenbush is an NCAA Division II Thomas More University commit, was one of 3 Wildcats in double digits in that game with 23 points, 9 rebounds. Both of those were game highs. Sophomore Zach Meister, who has really come on of late and had a pretty good older brother, talking about Steele Meister, who is averaging about 8 a game up at Findlay, has not made any starts up there. He's had a season high 19 this year, was the former OCC Buckeye Player of the Year a couple of years ago. Meister has played well, 13 points, 5 rebounds in that win on Sunday. Tyron Brooks, only a junior, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 of 10 from the field. Newark really shooting the free throws well again this year, which has been a staple of this program for a long time. 20 of 22 at the stripe on Sunday for 90%. St. Francis finished 1 of 8 on threes in that game for 13%. And a really good freshman we saw last year, Chris Polanitz, now a sophomore. He led Toledo St. Francis with 19 points and 5 rebounds on 7 of 13 shooting. The Wildcats sit alone atop the OCC Buckeye at 7-0 after their 66-49 home win against Reynoldsburg last Tuesday night. They won that game despite getting only 7 points from Jake Quackenbush. Quackenbush did grab 13 rebounds. He dished out 5 assists. Both of those were game highs. The Raiders' dynamic duo of senior Jordan Bowen, senior Xavier McKinney, they're a pair of Ohio University commits. They scored 4 apiece in that game. They shot a combined 2 of 14 from the field. Jordan Bowen's held to 3 field goal attempts. He finished 2 of 3. And Xavier McKinney, who has been about as consistent as anybody in Central Ohio over the past couple of years, well, he went 0 of 11 from the field. He missed all 3 of his 3-point attempts. And really the guys that stepped up and stepped in, talking about Tyron Brooks, a career-high 24, and senior Ty Gilbert, a career-high 25. They combined for 49 Wildcat points, and they did it on 23 of 29 shooting. The Wildcats shot 61% from the field, and they held Reynoldsburg to just 34% shooting. Newark dominated the backboards 36-20. Makai Roddy, the sophomore, led Reynoldsburg with 17 points and 2 rebounds along with 3 assists. He was 7 of 15 from the field and 3 of 5 from way downtown. The Cruisers, they snapped an 11-game losing streak in this series last year with Newark when they won the second meeting. They won 38-35 at Jim Allen Gymnasium. Newark has won 37 of the last 40 meetings in this series. The Wildcats won the first meeting this year. It was the season opener for Groveport Madison on December the 5th. Newark came into the game 1-0 with a win against Hartley, and the Wildcats dominated the second half and won that game by 30, 69-39, again back on December 5th. What challenges there are tonight? There are plenty of challenges, but with those challenges come opportunities, and the Cruisers with a ginormous opportunity in front of them, in front of Jake Quackenbush and the Newark Wildcats here tonight at Cruiser Arena, and we are thrilled to get to bring it to you tonight here on the Groveport Sports Network. A quick look at tonight's injury report. Tro Glenn back for Groveport Madison, his 6th straight game back. Ty Cooper is active, his 3rd straight game. Isaiah Crutcher is now dealing with a stress fracture after missing time with a knee issue. He is out indefinitely, and the Cruisers played tonight without senior Troy Hines and sophomore Jaden Jordan, both out for the next week for a violation of team policy. They expect to get those guys back on the road at Taze Valley next Friday, January 30th. There is nobody on that injury report tonight for Jeff Quackenbush and Newark. Got a lot coming up on the Sedalia Dental pregame show. Again, we say thanks to Drs. Aaron and Katie Carroll at Sedalia Dental. Visit their brand new office at 337 Main Street in Groveport. Sedalia Dental says go Cruisers. Visit them at sedaliadental.com. We'll come back and take a look at tonight's starting lineups. We'll tell you a little bit more about this team with rich history, talking about the Newark Wildcats. But when we come back, what a treat for us. We get a chance to sit down with the 1991 Newark alum in year 27 as the Wildcats head coach. Boy, he and his high school coach, talking about Gary Walters, have been the only two head coaches in this program over the last 54 years. They have only had 10 head coaches at Newark since 1903. 10 head coaches in the last 123 years. We got a chance to sit down with Jeff Quackenbush, the Newark basketball coach and the Newark High School athletic director, and we'll share that interview with you coming up next. It's courtesy of Great Clips. It is Tuesday Night Hoops. It's presented exclusively by First Service Federal Credit Union. The Newark Wildcats 13-0, 7-0 in the Buckeye. The Cruisers 5-5 overall and 4-3 in league play. We'll talk to Jeff Quackenbush after this 60-second timeout. It's courtesy of State Street Advisors as you listen to the sights and the sounds of the Groveport Sports Network. Mark Kavanik and State Street Advisors is the official financial advisor sponsor of the Groveport Sports Network. Conveniently located at 647 Park Meadow Road in Westerville, Mark Kavanik and State Street Advisors is ready to equip you with a comprehensive evaluation of your current financial state to assist you in planning for your future. State Street Advisors will guide you in formulating a series of achievable steps that can help you reach your objectives. Mark Kavanik and State Street Advisors is the official financial advisor sponsor of the Groveport Sports Network. Phone 614-895-2584 or visit statestreetadvisors.com to learn more. Mark Kavanik is an investment advisor representative offering securities and advisory services through Cetera Advisors LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, a broker, dealer, and registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. State Street Advisors, wealth creation, preservation, and transfer. By First Service Federal Credit Union. Second meeting of the year between the Wildcats and the Cruisers here at Cruiser Arena. And boy, what a treat for us to get a chance to spend a few minutes with one of the best in Central Ohio, Jeff Quackenbush, the outstanding Newark head coach. And he appears courtesy of Great Clips, of course, in that Walnut Creek Plaza. They care about their customers' time. That's why they've created online check-in. It's a way for you to add your name to the list at the Great Clips salon of your choice, so you spend less time waiting in the lobby. You can download that free Great Clips app today or visit greatclips.com to learn more. And Coach, first of all, congrats on the 13-0 start. We talked earlier in the week and you said, boy, a big storyline with this team is their energy and effort. That is, as much as anything, is key. But I'll push back. I've been watching you guys for you always have good energy and good effort almost every time I've seen you play. So besides that, as you look at tape and evaluate your guys, what's been another difference with this team?
Well, I think anytime you have three guys that can score with Jake and Ty Braun, and you limit your turnovers. We're under 10 turnovers a game, so that's huge for us. And our offensive rebounding has been a big push for us this year, and we are really rebounding the ball well on offense.
You come off a couple of really big wins in the last week. Start with Sunday against St. Francis de Sales out of Toledo, a Division II Final Four team a year ago. You're down 5 at halftime. You outscore them by 10 in the second half. What was the difference in the final 16 minutes?
Well, we shot 36%. We had 19 offensive rebounds, so that was the difference in the game. And they're the biggest team we've played in a long time, so it was hard to get anything around the basket.
You've had some close games like that this year. It hadn't been all a bed of roses and a bunch of cupcakes. I think that Hartley game 1, Dayton Chaminade in your holiday tournament where you trailed, and this one down 5 at halftime on a big stage over at Ohio Dominican. How much can a game like a Sunday or Dayton Chaminade a month, how much do games like those translate to and help a team like yours out in the month of March?
Well, definitely. definitely, because you're going to have to play your best basketball in March. But you think back to the first time that we played Groveport, it wasn't a 30-point game the whole game. It was a tight game, and we started to separate in the second half. So it's all about making game time adjustments and figuring out how they're guarding your better guards and guarding Jake. And I think our kids have done a good job of that this year.
And you get a road win on Friday at Lancaster, and then you go back to last Tuesday, really in terms of league championships, the big one to this point, the win, 17-point win against Reynoldsburg in league play, and a big day for two of your guards at the same time on, talk about the biggest stage when you needed it. Ty Braun and Ty Gilbert with 49 points between them and 23 of 29 from the field. Did you see that coming?
I didn't, but they did a really good job of attacking the basket. They're both not the biggest guards, but they decided to guard Jake with some of their bigger guys that last year were more rim protectors for them. So we were able to get to the basket and finish around the rim. But Ty and Ty Braun are both really good guards and really competitive kids. And Jake's had some big numbers this year, but those two are definitely capable.
Talking with Jeff Quackenbush, the Newark head coach, courtesy of Great Clips, and kind of a strange game. Coach, I'm looking at the box score, prepping for tonight. The three, we'll call them the superstars in that game, Bowens and McKinney over at Reynoldsburg, and then Jake at Newark combined for 15 points. They were 3 of 25, and I'm going to ask you a Jake question in a minute. I want to ask you the Reynoldsburg version of that. You hold them to 4 points, 3 field goals. Bowens only has, I think, 4 attempts or 3 attempts in the whole game, and McKinney goes 0 for the night, 0 for 11. I think on behalf of every coach in Central Ohio. How'd you do that one? What was the story there?
Well, Alex Irvin Royster's a really good defender for us, and McKinney's an unbelievable defender for them. I know Andy thinks that also, but I thought our kids followed the game plan. We weren't going to give McKinney any wide open looks, and really, if you can keep them out of transition, because those two guys playing them one-on-one in the open court, we're not winning that battle.
And then you told me this week when we talked with Jake, a tough shooting night for him, and you said we're a team that doesn't have to have Jake Quackenbush go for 20 and win. And I just, is that something you learned in that game, or has that been something all year that you've had the confidence that if he struggles, there's guys on this team that can step up and do what those two guys did?
There's been some other games where I think there was one game he only shot 3 times, and, but he's got to facilitate for us too. You know, he's our second leader in assists, I believe, or close. So he's just got to play basketball, rebound, and lead when he's on the court. If he scores, that's just extra.
We've talked about Groveport. I remember last year when I talked to you, the word you used before game 1 or whatever was dangerous. And the danger last year was their offensive rebounding. You would think you would count 17 in one of the games you had statted pretty intensely. You use that same term again this year, that they're a dangerous team that maybe isn't clicking right now. Where are they most dangerous coming into this one tonight?
Well, I definitely think it's offensive rebounds, and then you have to take care of the basketball.
Sure.
Because if they can get out and run on the open court, then that's a struggle for us to keep up. But yeah, you got to get everybody blocked out. Ruffin's kind of, I saw the other night, he had 28 against Canal. If he gets going, then we're in trouble. So we got to make sure we keep him under control.
And finally, I want to ask you, I know we've asked off the air, we've talked about this, just a chance to coach Jake, and I'm sure a million people have been like, what's that been like? And usually I think the answer is we don't talk a lot of hoops at home and those. I want to ask you just in a different way, how rewarding has that been for you? And I guess 2 parts to it. How rewarding has it been to see him, just like all these other guys, put in the hard work and see results from that? I can't, every time I'm on the air, Coach, I'm talking about how we're tearing down, and there's a little guy and a little girl out there shooting, and the little girl just signed with Bowling Green. He's going to play at Thomas More. How rewarding is that? And just how rewarding has it been as a dad as this season of the Quackenbush life finishes up, just to be able to do what you guys have done?
Well, number one, we're trying to enjoy every minute of it.
Sure.
And he is an absolute gym rat. In the off season, he's a kid that gets in there and gets 3 miles in at 5 in the morning, and then gets a workout in before school, and then comes in after school. He's and he wants to be a teacher, and he wants to coach. So it's been a joy, and he's a great kid. Not basketball. I'm just talking just as a kid and a teammate. So it's been amazing.
What, before we let you go, thoughts tonight, keys besides value in the ball, and can you give us a nugget or two for this thing to keep going and this team to make some noise? What are you talking about the second half of the year?
Well, we can't get satisfied, and we're going to have to be able to make adjustments. People are going to make adjustments on how they're going to guard us, and we have to be able to adjust during games. When you have 6 seniors, and I would say 7 because Ty Braun's had a season under his belt, you should be able to make those adjustments. But we win with energy and grit. That's how we've always won. If the ball goes in, then it looks even better. But we got to continue to have that energy and grit.
Can I say this as a guy that called me a purist? We love that energy and grit. I love covering your squad. You're always good to us. We appreciate it, and best of luck tonight, and know that there's people rooting for you from afar the rest of the way too.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That is head coach Jeff Quackenbush here on the Sedalia Dental pregame show. That interview is always brought to you by Great Clips in that Giant Eagle Plaza. We want you to go to that one, and remember, you can use that Great Clips app to add your name to the list. We'll take a break. The starting lineups are coming up next. It's Newark and Groveport, Madison. This is the Groveport Sports Network.
I let 6 of my employees go last year.
I let 5 employees go in 5 months.
In fact, just last week I let 3 go.
A lot of employers are letting their employees go to serve their country in the National Guard and Reserve. The Guard and Reserve has become more important than ever, making up 52% of our military force. So join the troops.
I haven't had to let any of my employees go, but when the time comes, I will.
Support your employees in the Guard and Reserve. A message from employer support of the Guard and Reserve and Ad Council.
Here at Cruiser Arena. This is year number 8 for this fine facility. $60 million price tag on the entire high school. Beautiful gymnasium, and we're excited to have it for you tonight on a frigid night in Central Ohio. So if you can't make it out to Cruiser Arena, we'll have this one for you live, and it'll be available on demand, completely free of charge as well. Ricky Cooper, and our entire Groveport Sports Network broadcast team. And before I say anything else, we say hello to Harry Bollinger, the Newark statistician, coming up to say hello to us as well. This is the Sedalia Dental pregame show. We will count you down to tonight's Birch Tavern opening tip. The Newark Wildcats in town. Reynoldsburg is at Canal Winchester tonight. Lancaster is at Taze Valley, and Pickerington Central is at Logan. The Wildcats now all alone in the OCC Buckeye atop the standings at 7-0. Reynoldsburg second, 6-1. Pickerington Central, their only blemish is through one time through the league against Reynoldsburg and Newark. They are 5-2, 7-4 overall. The Cruisers are fourth at 4-3. Canal 3-4 in the league, 5-8 overall. Taze Valley 1-6, and Lancaster 1-6. Logan is 1-6 as well. So 3 teams tied at the bottom of the division. The Newark Wildcats here, school of about 1,450 students, white and crimson, 1,700, and I didn't update this number, Rick Cooper, shame on you, 1,750 wins all-time. That is third all-time behind Archbald High School and Canton McKinley. Bulldog Country, 4-time state champs, 1936, 1938, 1943, and then 2008 with Jeff Quackenbush as their head coach. They have 41 boys basketball league titles, most recently in 2024, 26 boys basketball district championships, their last one in 2024 as well. They were led by 53-year-old Jeff Quackenbush, a 71% winning percentage, 91 Newark alum, as we said, played for Gary Walters, who also coached 27 years at Newark. So those two together, you put it together, they've had 2 basketball coaches over the last 54 years. They have had 10 head coaches over the last 123 years of Newark High School. Quackenbush played for Jim Barron at St. Bonaventure, and one interesting nugget on the Wildcat head coach, he's also the AD, which is extremely rare, especially to school of the size of Newark. But as I say that, Andy Moore, after some movement there in the Reynoldsburg Athletic Department, has been the AD the last couple of years as well. Quackenbush and Gary Gary Walters, as we said, 54 years between the two of them. Distinguished alum of this program, Jordan Dardis, who broke Nick Clark's son, his record as the all-time leader in threes made at Ohio University in 311, and then became the all-time leader in threes made in Mid-American Conference history, surpassing Nate Navigato from Toledo with 309. He took a medical red shirt after some injuries, and now a mailman in the Chillicothe area. Derek Dutch Oven, Newark grad, played in the major leagues, pitching with the Tigers, Cubs, Rangers, San Francisco Giants, Chicago White Sox. Fred Schaus was a 43 Newark grad that played in the NBA, and Jim Tyre, 57 Newark grad, played in the AFL and NFL, big 6'6" offensive lineman that played 14 years with the Dallas Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. Woody English, 1923 grad, was an MLB player, a shortstop, and a third baseman for 12 years with the Cubs and the Brooklyn Dodgers. Kim Royster is Newark's all-time leading scorer in girls and boys basketball with 1,599 career points, and we add JT Shoemate to that list. What a story for JT Shoemate. Started at Walsh, started dominating over there, decided to go to Toledo, and a 44% career three-point percentage is number one at Toledo all-time, was an 87% free throw shooter, 55% career field goal shooting is number four at Toledo. And you think of JT Shoemate as an offensive guy, he had 117 blocks at Toledo, which is number four all-time as well. Some really interesting nuggets. Newark High School, by the way, the only high school in America that has had an alumni play in the first Major League Baseball All-Star game, the first NBA All-Star game, and the first AFL All-Star game, one called the Pro Bowl back then, but was kind of what it was back in the AFL. So let's take a look, Coop, at tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with the home team for Groveport Madison, and the starting lineup in this game for the Cruisers. They will start... Tyreek Ruffin will start at the point guard spot, 11 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 2.4 assists for the 6-foot senior co-captain, who's coming off a 28-point night on Friday when he hit 11 of 16 shots, 4 of 5 from three-point range, but followed it up with a tough night on Saturday, 7 points, 2 of 12 from the field, and 1 of 5 on threes. The two-guard tonight is Jordan Wagner, 6'3" sophomore, 10.4 points a game, 2.1 rebounds, and 32% from the field. He had 13 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist in that win against Canal Winchester on Friday night. The small forward tonight is Tro Glenn. Glenn, the 6'4" senior, is averaging 3 points and 1.5 rebounds. He is an NCAA Division II Central State football commit. Glenn, in that game on Saturday against Afrocentric, did not score. Went 0 for 4 from the field, 0 of 3 on threes, no points, 2 rebounds, a couple assists. Marcus Hemphill will start at the power forward, 6'5" senior, 7.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, and Kofi Kadolo, the Cruiser big man, will start at center, 8.1 points, 10.5 rebounds, 3.1 blocks. 6'6" senior will wear number 20. The head coach of the Cruisers is 46-year-old Lamont Hampton. In his 6th year, 57 wins, 68 losses. He wins at a clip of 46%. He is an exercise science teacher, part of the CTE program at Groveport Madison High School, 97 Grove City grad, and 2003 Wilmington grad. For Jeff Quackenbush in Newark, he'll start 2-year starter Tyron Brooks at point guard. 6-foot junior will wear number 1, second best on this team at 15 a game. Team leader in assists, steals, and turnovers. 3.3 assists, 2.5 steals, and 1.7 turnovers. The two-guard tonight is Ty Gilbert, who had a career-high 25 against Reynoldsburg last week. Also had 25 in their road win at Pickerington Central a year ago. He's a 3-year starter, 4-year varsity guy, 14.2 a game, which is third best on this team, 50% from the field, and a team best 46% on threes, 36 of 17. The makes and misses behind the arc are a team high as well. Zach Meister continues to get better every day. 6'3" sophomore. Jeff Quackenbush says he is a skilled sophomore. Rick, 4.8 points and 3.3 rebounds. He'll wear number 5. The power forward tonight is Jake Quackenbush, 6'5 senior, the Thomas More commit that had a career-high 35 in their holiday championship back on December 28th against Dayton Chaminade, 21.8 points and 11.7 rebounds. And the man in the middle tonight is Alex Irvin Royster, 6'3 senior, an Ohio Dominican football commit, was a running back and a safety for Newark. Athletic big, that is a great defender, 2.7 points and 4.8 rebounds. Jeff Quackenbush, the Newark head coach, will have the Birch Tavern opening tip coming up next. National anthem means we're just about set to play basketball. Jeff Quackenbush, the Newark head coach, 27th season, 464 wins, 182 losses. He wins at a clip of 72%, 91 Newark grad, 95 St. Bonaventure grad. Wife Dara of 23 years, son Jake, a senior on this team, and daughter Emma, who is 17, one of the playmakers on that Newark girls team that just committed yesterday to Bowling Green State University. We can congratulate her for that. We also say hello to Dara's mom and dad, the Jacobys, watching this broadcast. So Jeff Quackenbush's in-laws, always good to say hello to the in-laws watching down in the state of Florida. We say hello to all the fans watching over in Newark. There is a passionate fan base that bleeds crimson and white, and we are thrilled every time we get a chance to cover Newark basketball. For Groveport Madison, they want to get out of the gates quickly. They got to shoot the free throws well, only at 60%. Newark close to 80. They've got to move the basketball. They've had 10 assists over the last 2 games. You're not going to beat the Newark Wildcats, who are going to do everything right defensively by playing mano-a-mano. You're going to have to swing it side to side and hope they eventually get tired and break down, but that doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot. But you got really no chance if you don't move the basketball. For Jeff Quackenbush in Newark, he said, Rick, we want to continue to bring effort and energy. He said, we've got to get after it defensively. He said, you can control your defense, how hard you play, and how well you follow the scouting report. He said, Rick, we've got to take care of the basketball. He said, live ball turnovers lead to easy baskets at the other end, and you can't be a great possession-by-possession team that is successful if you turn it over, especially live balls. They are under 10 a game. They've got a box out. That's always an issue with this athletic cruiser team. They want to protect the paint. Talks about quote-unquote guys in gaps providing help, and they want to take great shots. He says bad shots at one end usually lead to easy buckets in transition at the other. Tonight's opening tip is brought to you by the Birch Tavern in the village of Groveport, open every day at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Birch. Check out their menu at birchtavern.com. They are the exclusive sponsor of tonight's opening tip, and it is Josh Schott that'll throw it up. 5 years as the referee. Ron Hanna, 10 years the U1, and A.J. Duffy is the U2 with 15 years, so 30 years between this 3-man crew. Wildcats in the visiting crimson, going left to right on your screen in the opening half. They win the opening tip. This is Tyron Brooks, who nearly walked, got rid of it before he landed. Missed a shot, but followed his own shot. Another possession for the Wildcats. Coming off that win, 58-53 on on Sunday afternoon against Toledo St. Francis. Final four team in Division II a year ago. Not to be confused with the St. Francis DeSales here in Columbus. Ty Gilbert back out to Tybron Brooks. We had a shot clock in that event on Sunday. Obviously no shot clock in the high school game yet. Maybe a couple of years away. Alex Irvin Royster, one of their bigs. It was a part-time starter. Top of the key, now plays through Quackenbush. He added this to his game. That little Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway. We saw a lot of those against Hartley in the opening game of the year. That one off the mark, and the Cruisers finally get a defensive stop. It's about a minute and 10-second possession there after the offensive rebound by Tybron Brooks. Jordan Wagner, one of the better sophomores in the area, gets it over to Ruffin, picked up by Ty Gilbert. Gilbert missed one of these games a year ago, the one that the Cruisers won. Huge difference when he's not in the lineup, and the Cruisers a turnover on their opening possession. Ty Gilbert right side between the legs, back out to Quackenbush, who will hand it off to Tybron Brooks. Over to Gilbert, ball deflected, but gets to Quackenbush, picked up by Marcus Hemfell. Be an interesting matchup to keep an eye on, and Quackenbush got the step. It was Tyreek Ruffin that came in the vicinity, also Hemfell, and we'll see who they charge this to. Marcus Hemfell, the guilty party. They have Matt Skaggs running the official book tonight, so not running the scoreboard, and that means we're not going to put fouls on the board. And I'm just going to say it, every high school basketball game in the state should have the fouls posted on the scoreboard, and we're not going to do that tonight. So Ricky Cooper, our on-site spotter, will help us there. First point of the game out of the hand of Jake Quackenbush. 21.8 points a game, 11.7 rebounds. Had, 23 a game high, 9 rebounds in that win against Toledo St. Francis. He is an outstanding free throw shooter, and boy, that is a blessing when you've got guys that can hit the free ones, especially guys that shoot as many as he does. 92 of 111 coming in, so his 112th and 113th free throw on the year, and it gives the Wildcats a 2-0 advantage. Newark suffocating Ruffin after he picks up his dribble. Fortunate to get it to Wagner, who attacks, created space, no good. Cadolo got an offensive rebound. Kofi pounds a couple of dribbles. His jump hook, not necessarily pretty, pounded off the rim and dropped in. So they tie it at 2 apiece. Gilbert's jumper no good. Offensive rebound. Quackenbush down the lane, used the left hand and put it in. Took it right to the teeth of Kofi Cadolo. We joked about it in the Westerville North game we did the other night. Cadolo averages 3+ blocks a game. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Go right to him. Jake used the left hand well also, but it's easier said than done. When a play-by-play guy says go attack, going against a guy 6'6" that averages better than 3 a game. Wagner off the mark as he double pumped in the lane, and Quackenbush another rebound. Quackenbush to Brooks, bumped by Tro Glenn. Now to Quackenbush, beautiful step through. Cadolo helped a little bit, and Irvin Royster got an offensive rebound. Gilbert off that offensive rebound, makes them pay, and that's the benefit of offensive rebounds. It's benefit of smart basketball after, what was it, Irvin Royster or Quackenbush that grabbed the offensive rebound? It was Irvin Royster that got it. And boy, Ty Gilbert stepping into a 3. You've got to have a big that can find him too. It was Alex Irvin Royster that got the offensive rebound. And Lamont Hampton, not liking how the first 3.5 minutes have gone, elects to call a Crumble Cookie timeout. Crumble Cookie serving the world's best desserts. Eddie's Chicken and Waffles is tonight's official game sponsor. Chicken and waffles all day, every day at Eddie's. Call them at 829-7770 or visit eddieschickenandwaffles.com to learn a lot more. Flyers Pizza is the official pizza of the Groveport Sports Network. What better way to enjoy Cruiser basketball than with a Flyers Old World pepperoni or a Bomber pizza? Get some boneless wings and a fresh salad. You can do all of that right now, right on your computer, right on your phone at flyerspizza.com. So 7 7-2 after the Gilbert 3 and the Lamont Hampton 32nd crumble cookie timeout. Ruffin into the lane, 14-footer is right there. If you're just watching Tyreek Ruffin for the first time as Newark turned it over, it was Tyron Brooks that led Gilbert a little bit too far. That's one of the things Tyreek Ruffin has in his game that so many high school basketball players don't. He'll shoot the three, he'll go to the rim, but he's got the ability to attack to a spot and raise up, and so many guys don't even work on that anymore. Lost art. Well done, Tyreek. Makes it a one-possession game and a chance to possibly tie it here as we're under 4 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Ruffin again attacks to a spot right on cue, but this one he left a little short, and Jake Quackenbush, the only guy for either team around the rim, grabs the rebound. Brooks into the lane, scooped it up and put it in. Well, you watch some of the highlights from that 23 for 29 night for he and Ty Gilbert last Tuesday night against Reynoldsburg. This kid was all over the rim. I mean, it was not, boy, they were just shooting the ball well, hitting jump shots. It was Ty Gilbert and Tyron Brooks attacking to the rim. Taking it again to the teeth of that big Reynoldsburg lineup. 9-4, 5-point Wildcat advantage, matches their biggest lead of the quarter as absorbing some contact was Jordan Wagner, but unable to finish. Again in transition, ready to shoot it was Gilbert, no good. Offensive rebound for the Wildcats. Gilbert back into the lane. It was Zach Meister that had one up close, but decided to pass it back out. Jeff Quackenbush not happy with something in terms of the offensive execution. Looks like Colton Peterson is going to come in for somebody at the next stoppage. Quackenbush working against Hemphill. Lamont Hampton asking for a 5-second violation there. Nothing called. Little stop and start. Brooks to the rim for two. Boy, changed speeds. Didn't change direction. Was going north and south, but kind of lulled him to sleep. And then re-attacked and sped up, and nobody was there to stop him. 7-point advantage for the Wildcats. 11-4, 2:15 to play in the quarter. Hemphill will hand it off to Ruffin and then set a screen to try to give him space. Ruffin skip pass to Tro Glenn was intercepted after a deflection, and the Wildcats give it right back as Alex Irvin Royster a little bit out of control. And the Cruisers, did they turn it right back over? They did. Irvin Royster, basket good, and Tro Glenn got him as well. Tro doesn't like the call. It's his first, team second. Alex Irvin Royster doesn't score a heck of a lot. That's kind of been the MO of the bigs at Newark in recent years. Talking about Kalen Winbush, Austin Rose, guys that made their living defensively, get in there, set good screens, and rebound the basketball. Got to give a shout out to Austin Rose, one of our favorites, the lunch pail kid. Just went in there and did nothing but dirty work. Going to play baseball at Ohio State this year. Second free throw, or the three-point opportunity is no good. So the lead extends to 9 as we're under 2 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Glenn, a couple of dribbles, trying to attack and see what he can get there against number 2, Colton Peterson. Make that number 12. That's Bodie Smith. Smith, the football commit, was a second-team All-State quarterback. Foul on Newark's number 10. That's Alex Irvin Royster. It's his first and the first on the team. A couple of substitutions in. Irvin Royster will sit down. Jeff Quackenbush not exceptionally deep, as that one nearly intercepted on an inbounds pass there by Izzy Codolo. That might get you right back to the bench if you turn over the ensuing inbounds play after you check in. But Quackenbush with a couple of guys in. Sean Breckbill has kind of settled in as their first big off the bench. It was the big 6'9 junior Branson DeVault earlier in the year as Kofi Codolo catches an inbound. And Kofi with his second field goal and has 4 points, but really it's 8 guys right now. We'll see Colton Peterson and Bodie Smith kind of wing guys, and we'll see Sean Breckbill, and none of those guys do a lot of scoring as Quackenbush, the Nowitzki fade, and he put it in. Third field goal for Jake Quackenbush. Lead back up to 9. Under a minute to play. Gilbert going to guard Tyreek Ruffin underneath Hemphill. Had his shot blocked by Tybron Brooks, and it's taken away by Newark. Taken away again by the Ashland football commit, Bodie Smith. Smith comes in averaging 2.5 points, 1.7 rebounds. Baseball left fielder as well. This is Breckbill. First big off the bench. Here's Quackenbush at that right elbow. Drops it off to Gilbert with under a half minute to play. See when Jeff Quackenbush says we're playing for one. He may have already said it as the Wildcats taking a lot of time, and here's the leadership. Not sure if Jake decided that or if Dad said it from the sideline, but either way, a couple of retreat dribbles by Jake Quackenbush, and they are absolutely going to play for the final shot here as Tyreek Ruffin got a piece of that pass to Gilbert on the right baseline. It'll stay with the Wildcats with 5.6 to play. And it'll be Tybron Brooks that'll bring it in. Quackenbush double teamed just off of that right block. Now Tro Glenn is going to get in there as well. They've got 3 guys surrounding Quackenbush. Gilbert with 3 to play. They're going to get steps on Ty Gilbert, who tried to step through against Cadolo and Tro Glenn and do something with the clock winding down. That something was a shuffle of the feet. The Cruisers going to try to get an opportunity here down 9 with 1.7 to play. Want to try to get something going up the floor, and instead they kind of settle, and Newark a long attempt there, and the Wildcats will go to the end of the quarter with a 15-6 advantage. I thought that was a settle there. I think when you have 1.7 seconds left, you have to get something going towards the basket. I mean, Tyreek Ruffin is an all-state defensive back and an all-state guard. I don't want Tyreek Ruffin catching it going towards the other bucket. I don't want to get him catching it stationary. I want him to do something or find someone that can at least get him going to the rim a little bit. That's a settle right there, and I know you're not going to make very many of those, but boy, the difference between a 40-footer and a 70-footer is pretty exponential if you ask this bad play-by-play guy. Tonight's realtor of the game is Logan Marburger with the team at RE/MAX 1. He's got the experience and resources necessary whether you plan to buy or sell. He's all about earning trust, creating lasting relationships, and helping families and individuals in this community achieve their dreams. Brings energy, enthusiasm, and results. Visit Logan-Marburger.remax.com. Be sure to check in the next day or so, maybe late tonight. We'll put Ricky Cooper on it. We'll have the Bexley Car Care play of the game. They're locally owned and operated, 23 years in the business. They provide expert auto repair that you can trust. My good friend Mike Kimbler runs that outstanding office, that location, and you can schedule your appointment with Bexley Car Care by calling him at 236-5664. But win or lose, it may be a Groveport play, it may be a Newark play. There will be a Bexley Car Care play of the game after this one is over. We also say thanks to Jersey Mike's. They're the official sub shop of the Groveport Sports Network. Subs by the bag, subs by the box, and personal box lunches underway here in the second. Underneath Cadolo, Wagner threw it to him, put it right in his hands, and Kofi couldn't bring it in, and it'll be a jump ball, which, boy, in that spot, a jump ball feels like a turnover, doesn't it? Wagner did a lot of good, attacked, made the right choice, and again, calling X's and O's. You pay us the big dollars to do it. Sometimes they throw it bad passes to the big fella. He's got to catch that one. 15-6. Breckbill around the perimeter to Tybron Brooks. Off a screen here, it's Meister. Meister over to Colton Peterson, one of their first guards off the bench, 5'11 junior. And that one deflected out of bounds. It'll stay here. to that point that they're not getting a lot of production off the bench. Bodie Smith, 2.5 a game. Peterson, 1.3 a game. And Sean Breckbill has scored 4 total points in 12 games played. So their job, they know their role. I think they're going to get steps here. They are. And that was a delayed call there. The dramatic pause by the U1 Ron Hanna, but it was the right call. Took an extra step, and the turnover back to Groveport Madison. Newark in at 13-0. 9 of those 13 games have been in the confines at Jim Allen Gymnasium. 2-0 on the road, 2-0 on a neutral site. Tyreek Ruffin to Hemphill. Left side 3 is too strong, and a rebound to Jake Quackenbush for Newark. Just underway. That's got to be a foul there. Bumping and displacing the offensive player. Did it again, and finally they call the foul. And Hemphill doesn't like the call. Hemphill just fouled him for 75 feet, and they finally called it. They get Marcus, and it's his second. Not even sure about it at the end. I guess there was a foul, but I think that was a makeup call for the fact that about 50 feet up the floor, Marcus Hemphill rode him like a horse. First one for Jake Quackenbush is up and in. 4th and 5th free throws of this game for Newark. Jake Quackenbush working on a 7-point first half. As we said, comes in averaging 21.8 points, 11.7 rebounds. Both of those are team highs. 51% from the field is second. Only 18 3-point attempts coming in. 5 of 18 on the year. That's 27%. And really what makes this young man so dangerous is the volume of free throws, as he'll make that one and get a quick breather. His ability to make them comes in at 82%, 92 of 111 at the stripe. If you foul him, he's going to make you pay. 17-6, first time this lead is expanded to double digits. Tro Glenn just inside that free throw line extended. Newark fans wanted to walk there on Glenn, nothing called, and they're going to get a reach in here on Colton Peterson, who tried to take it away from Tyreek Ruffin on that right wing. Third year that they have reset fouls at the end of every quarter. So the first on the Wildcats here in the second stanza. 5 fouls in a quarter. You shoot 2 free throws, no more 1-and-1 in high school basketball. Right side jumper, no good. And a rebound on the floor picked up by Irvin Royster. Men's college basketball, the only ones left playing in halves and playing 1-and-1s, and 7 and 10 in terms of the fouls. Right side, Colton Peterson. Now to Irvin Royster. Older sister Sincere was a good softball player for Chris Back. Second cousin Kim Royster, as we said, 1,599 points to Newark best in points for girls or boys basketball. There's a block. Hemphill is loose, and he lays it in at the other end. First 2 for Marcus Hemphill. Tied for 4th on this team at 7.8 a game. Takes the deficit to single digits. 17-8, 5.5 to play opening half. Tuesday Night Hoops presented by First Service Federal Credit Union. Right side 3 is no good. Saved by Irvin Royster. And it's going to go to Groveport Madison. Good attempt there. A good look by Meister. And a guy that'll never show up in the stat line, Bodie Smith, using his body well on that skip pass to screen the defender in the vicinity. Tyron Brooks will check in. Jake Quackenbush's breather is short-lived, so 2 of the 3 stars on this team. They get 15 from Brooks. They get 14 from Gilbert. And they get 22 from Quackenbush. So you do the math. I'm doing it on, what is that, 61 points between those 3 guys a game. Top of the key, it's Wagner, a crossover, fires a 3, no good, and a couple of guys on the floor here, and I think this may be going against Newark, isn't it? It is. They're going to charge this to number 12, Bodie Smith. His first team, second, Common foul, so the Cruisers will bring it in. Glenn, one of many guys in this game that are football players, and there's another football player, the defensive end from Bishop Hartley, Marcus Hemphill. Cruisers have at least 3 of their regulars that are football guys. Glenn, Hemphill, and Ruffin. And Newark with 3 guys as we think about it. Bodie Smith, Colton Peterson, and there's somebody else, Alex Irvin Royster. We may be missing somebody, at least 6 of them. 17-10, and a good idea there by Tro Glenn. Just better defense by Irvin Royster, but doesn't hurt him as it's punched out of bounds off of Newark. Good idea by Tro Glenn, and way to rim run there by Marcus Hemphill. Exactly 4:30 to play, first half. Coming up, the halftime report, the Texas Roadhouse first half stats. Going to tell you a little story about Thomas More University, Jeff Quackenbush, St. Bonaventure, Rick Cooper, Kentucky Christian, and Ty Barnes. So stick around at halftime. All of those have a connecting piece to it. Going to tell you an interesting nugget about the Newark head coach and where Jake Quackenbush is headed next year. So you'll want to stick around for that. Tyreek Ruffin, left side, Wagner, under 4 minutes to play. Wagner into the lane, used his body well, but forced it a little bit, and a rebound to Newark, and Jeff Quackenbush says, I don't like something, and he's called a Crumble Cookie Wildcats timeout. Crumble Cookie on Gender Road in Canal near Walmart is proud to support Central Ohio high school sports. Pickup, delivery, and catering are all available. Visit crumblecookies.com to learn more. Big thank you to Ron and Beth Ireland, the team at Ireland Spa, ready to help you relax, refresh, renew. Locations in Canal, Winchester, and Lancaster. Visit IrelandSpa.com. We say thanks to the Witten Farm at Smith Farm Market, closed for a few weeks, but getting ready to reopen. And boy, they've got awesome pies. Many things they've got. They've got Amish cheeses, local meats, local honey, but 22 different types of fresh baked and cream pies available. You can learn more at WittenFarm.com. And a big thank you to Chick-fil-A in Reynoldsburg on East Broad Street. How about trying tomorrow an original or spicy chicken sandwich? Top it off with a delicious hand-spun milkshake and a mouth-watering chocolate chunk cookie. Again, we encourage you to support the locations that support Cruisers and Wildcats basketball. Talking about the Broad Street location near Mount Carmel East and Route 256 in Reynoldsburg. Quackenbush and Tro Glenn really working hard here. Are they going to call this on? They're going to call it on Ruffin. They let Glenn and Quackenbush get after it, and they pick on Tyreek Ruffin. There is nothing that Tyreek could have done that was more intense than what Tro Glenn and Jake Quackenbush were doing. I thought Ron Hanna might give him a double foul. Right side, under control. It's Ty Gilbert. Second field goal for Ty. He's got 5 points, and the lead back up to 9. 19-10, 3:18 to play in the half. Ricky Cooper, Bryce Cooper, our entire Groveport Sports Network broadcast team. Melvin Shepard, the athletic sophomore, has checked in. Went 0 of 4 on Saturday night. 3 of those attempts were threes. Get a pretty good double team on Ruffin. Somehow he got out of it underneath Shepard, and the athleticism on full display right there as he went to a right-handed reverse. His 7th and 8th points of the season makes it a 19-12 game with 2:45 to play in the half. Wildcats continue to run their stuff. Tro Glenn really trying to make Jake Quackenbush work and doing a pretty good job. Glenn leaning on him as Ty Gilbert just hit a 3. I think Jeff Quackenbush, as he went up the floor, was barking at one of our men in stripes, Josh Schott, saying that was too much down there. They were really getting after it, and he and Josh Schott having some conversation. Schott took the whistle out of his mouth for a moment to reply. Glenn to Shepard. 10-point game. Wildcats have led by as many as 11. Glenn into the lane. Tough shot, no, but he'll get 2. And Jeff Quackenbush, after Josh Schott calls that foul, simply points at the other end. He says, okay, you're going to call that down here? Well, we want it at the other end, too. They call it on Gilbert, his first, team third. Tro Glenn will shoot the first free throws of this game for Groveport Madison. They were really low in terms of free throw attempts 3 or 4 games ago. The free throw numbers, they are now attempting 11.1 a game. Last year, they were at almost 16 attempts a game. And just 3 or 4 games ago, they were at about 8 or 9 attempts a game. That's just not enough free throw attempts. Second one for Glenn is good. So he splits a pair. He's in the books with his first point, and it makes it a 9-point game with under 2 minutes to play in the first half. 22-13. Tyron Brooks spun, changed pivot feet, and put it in. Half dozen for Tyron Brooks, second team in the league a year ago. At a career high 24 last Tuesday night against Reynoldsburg. 2-year starter at point guard. Shepard back to Tyreek, right baseline. It's Cadolo who hit a 3 to stop a 14-0 Afrocentric run in the third quarter on Saturday night. Unable to convert here, but an offensive rebound for the Cruisers. Ruffin into the lane. His runner is right there. What you love about that play is he stayed under control, attacked hard, but was no chance he was going to get called for an offensive foul. Played off of 2 feet and was just really under control in a collision out there. And it looked like it was Jake Quackenbush and Melvin Shepard, and they're going to get Jake Quackenbush for too much in terms of contact. It's the first on Jake, and it should be the fourth on the team. Right now it says 3. We'll see if that changes to 4. I could be wrong. There it is. That's the fourth on the team. So Cruisers would get fouls on every Newark foul the rest of the half. Jeff Quackenbush still barking at Josh Schott down there. Josh Schott is begging for a rotation. Please, let's rotate here. Men in stripes. Let me get to the other end of the side of the court and get away from the 53-year-old head coach. Left baseline, Cadolo. Izzy, that is, got a pretty good attempt. Front of the rim, no good. Rebound, Wildcats. Taken away by Gilbert with 40 seconds to play. 24-15, Newark trying to win for the 14th straight time to start 2025-26. Got Logan on Friday. They win this one. They beat Logan. A deal with Anthony Kalo and Olentangy Orange, a team that knocked him out of postseason play 2 years ago. In the, regional semis? Was that it? Yes, right? Beat him in the regional semis. Shepard into the lane, and an offensive foul. It was Breck Bill that was waiting, and it was Melvin Shepard that drew the player control foul. First on Melvin. It is the third on Groveport Madison. 12.4 to play. Cadolo going to try to make it difficult on Tyron Brooks. Under 10 to play. Brooks kind of methodically working up the floor. Gets it to Meister. Right back to Tyron Brooks, who kissed it off the glass. It'll count, and that's how this opening half will end. And all of a sudden, the Wildcats have now opened up their biggest lead of this first half as they lead 28-15 as we head to the intermission here at Cruiser Arena. Coming up, we will take a look at tonight's Texas Roadhouse first half stats and got a little interesting did you know about the school Jake Quackenbush is headed to. Thomas More University, NCAA Division II down there. What is it? Crestview Hills, I think, Kentucky. Tell you a little bit about that. We'll give you the standings in the OCC Buckeye here at the intermission as well. Halftime at Cruiser Arena. It is Tuesday Night Hoops presented by First Service Federal Credit Union, and it is the 13-0 Newark Wildcats, number 3 in the state. Lead your Cruisers by the score of 28-15. The halftime report is coming up next. This is the Groveport Sports Network.
are all searching for a place to belong, a place to fit in, a place to call home. We long for solid ground that allows us to grow far beyond our dreams, seeking guidance as we navigate life's lessons. Leaning on others' experiences to help unlock our full potential. Desiring authentic relationships, meaningful conversations, people to push us to success. Striving to define our purpose, find our mission, and following God's calling to change the world. We are all searching.
Halftime here at Cruiser Arena. We welcome you back to Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by First Service Federal Credit Union. Newark 28-15 here at the intermission. Wildcats have won 37 of the last 40 meetings in this series. Cruisers split the season series last year when they won 38-35 at Newark. It was their first win against the Wildcats since January 3rd of 2020. It's about 1,843 days earlier. Again, it was only their third win in the past 40 meetings, so I guess that's wrong. They have won 38 of the last 41 meetings as they won the first meeting of the year, 69-39. Back on December the 5th, it was a 6-point game when the Wildcats used a 16-2 run in the third quarter to turn a halftime advantage into a 22-point advantage. Jake Quackenbush, 28 points, 13 rebounds. Both of those were game highs. Hit 7 of 12 shots and a perfect 13 of 13 at the stripe. Tyreek Ruffin at 14 points and 5 rebounds on 6 of 10 shooting in a losing effort for Groveport Madison. Flyers Pizza is the official pizza of the Groveport Sports Network. Visit flyerspizza.com, place your order, and pick it up at their convenient pickup window after this basketball game is over. Time for us to take a look at tonight's Texas Roadhouse first half stats, and they are presented exclusively by the Texas Roadhouse in Reynoldsburg, right over there on Main Street. Big thank you to Brian Agee and his team. The Reynoldsburg Texas Roadhouse has put the fun back into fundraising. If your school or organization would like more info on how to raise money, contact Gwen at 149marketing@texasroadhouse.com. That email address again is 149marketing@texasroadhouse.com. They do an outstanding job with that marketing piece. Would love to partner with your sports team or organization, so reach out to Gwen. Again, 149marketing@texasroadhouse.com. Let's take a look at the first half numbers. Wildcats have 4 players scored. Jake Quackenbush already in double digits, has 10. Ty Gilbert with 8, including 2 threes. They got 8 from Tyron Brooks, including that bucket to beat the first half buzzer, and 2 for their starting center. Talking about Alex Irvin Royster, the Wildcats unofficially 3 of 5 at the charity stripe for 60%. Groveport Madison, 5 different guys scored. They get 4 points in the half for Hemphill, Cadolo, and Tyreek Ruffin. They get 2 in the first half for Melvin Shepard. They get 1 for Tro Glenn, and Newark, or Groveport, 1 of 2 at the stripe for 50%. Newark led 15-6 6 after 1. They win the second quarter 13-9, and it gets us to our halftime score of Newark 28, Groveport Madison 15. In terms of foul trouble, the only guy with 2 for either team is senior forward Marcus Hemphill for Groveport Madison. Those are tonight's Texas Roadhouse first half stats. Maybe you're looking for a unique way to promote your business. Put your business logo on a Texas Roadhouse gift card, and you do that for no charge. Absolutely free. Stop in the Texas Roadhouse in Reynoldsburg. Talk to Gwen or Brian and get more details today. So those are some of your first half numbers, but the one that matters is on the scoreboard where the Wildcats lead your Cruisers by the score of 28-15. Next time we talk to you is in 2 weeks from tonight. Andy Moore, Xavier McKinney, Jordan Bowens, Mackay Roddy, and Reynoldsburg come to town. Division I state runners-up from a year ago. Tuesday, February 3rd, 7:30, the Birch Tavern opening tip, 7 o'clock, the Sedalia Dental pregame show. We promised you kind of something a little bit unique. We'll see how, if we've never told this story before, we'll see if we absolutely mangle it. I'm going to tell you a story, though, with a lot of different moving parts. So it starts with the fact that Jeff Quackenbush, back in his senior year, 1991, he's at Newark High School. He advances, plays in the Ohio North-South basketball game, and he plays there. It's an overnight event. You have a couple of practices, and then you play in the North-South game, and his roommate from the South, Jeff Quackenbush, part of the North team, is a guy by the name of Ty Barnes from Ironton High School. They're the roommates for those couple of days, and they, play hoops together. I see practice together, play together, all that kind of stuff. And Jeff Quackenbush is committed to St. Bonaventure already at that time. So I don't know, the piece I didn't know, I talked to Ty Barnes today. I don't know if it was Jim Barron that was there, but they came down to see Jeff Quackenbush. Coaches do that even after you assign somebody. So they're there. They watch the 2 practices. They watch the Ohio North-South game. And this guy, Ty Barnes from Ironton, Ohio, has himself a couple of days. I mean, he is just working dudes over. So at the end of the game, they come over and they offer a scholarship to this Ty Barnes to also join Jeff Quackenbush at St. Bonaventure. But Ty Barnes, kind of a homebody, young man that likes Ironton. He likes Southern Ohio and really didn't have much interest going to St. Bonaventure. They were not happy about it. I know that was part of the story when we talked to Ty Barnes. The folks at St. Bonaventure couldn't understand he would turn down a Division I offer, but he did, and he went to Shawnee State for a year and liked it, but didn't love it. Wanted to get somewhere where maybe it was more of a Christian atmosphere, and he ends up at a small Christian college up in Northeast Kentucky that had a pretty rich basketball history at that level. Kentucky Christian College. He plays 3 years there, scores better than 2,000 points. He wins a national championship in 1995, and I'm fortunate to have been a guy on that 95 national championship. I have a ring that says Cooper on it. It really should say Ty Barnes on it, because he was the guy that won us that national championship. And I'll never forget, in February of 1994, Thomas More comes to Kentucky Christian. They're either a Division II or Division III. I thought they were D2. Somebody said D3. They're D2 now, and they bring in this guy named Rick Hughes with Thomas More. He's the best men's basketball player ever at Thomas More. Led him in scoring and rebounding all 4 years. Better than 2,600 points. First team All-American. Had 58 points in a couple of different games. Had 37 double-doubles. And Kentucky Christian wins this basketball game 95-89. They pull off this huge win. Ty Barnes explodes for 45 points against this Rick Hughes. Rick Hughes scores 41. But Ty Barnes pointed out to me today, he said, Coop, he said, I think he only had 1 or 2 in the final 8 minutes, and so Kentucky Christian beats them, and this little podunk school with no scholarships, Thomas More actually pulled them off the schedule and would never play Kentucky Christian again. And the final piece to that story, a couple years later, I'm working for the Cleveland Cavs, NBA team up in Cleveland, and just watching warm-ups. Dallas Mavericks are in town, and watching guys warm up, literally standing right next to the floor, and I recognize one of these guys in warm-ups for the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks, and it's none other than Rick Hughes, who played one season with the Mavs, averaged 3.9 points a game, and just ironic that a small guy that was Jeff Quackenbush's roommate in the Ohio North-South game put 45 on Rick Hughes, who later went on to play in the National Basketball Association. As we get back to basketball, and boy, Marcus Hemphill giving Jake Quackenbush a little bit of his own medicine there, a little up and under Kevin McHale-like, and Quackenbush just picked up his second, and Marcus Hemphill with points 3 and 4. That is 2 minutes of your life that you will never get back, okay? But it's kind of an interesting story with Jake Quackenbush committed to Thomas More University. Really good D2 program and a really good D2 division, and Jeff Quackenbush told me, he said they're struggling a little bit right now, but be a really good opportunity for Jake Quackenbush next year. About 10 minutes outside Cincinnati is where Thomas More is at. But boy, I tell you, one final thought, what a treat it was to play with Ty Barnes. I know I saw him put about 30 or 35 on Jim Jackson in the old Worthington Summer League, and what you love about him was the way he did it, never said a word. It was guys like us that promoted him, because all he did is just get buckets on you and never talk about it. Quackenbush hits one fading away. Jake with a dozen, makes it 30-18. Wildcats led by 13 here at the intermission before that three-point opportunity by Hemphill. Ruffin got a pretty good look from 17, no good. 1 on 3. Brooks says, let's bring it out, and then dumps it off to Quackenbush, and Jake was fouled going to the rim, and he'll get 2. And the guilty party was Kofi Kadolo, picks up his first on the team here in the third quarter. 6:50 to play, 30-18 Newark. And the first free throw is up and in, out of the hand of Jake Quackenbush. Had a 33-point game against Bishop Hartley. We thought that was his career high, but got 35 against Dayton Chaminade when they had to rally back to win that game. And you want to know how good Jeff Quackenbush is, all you got to do is read. I follow that Newark Advocate beat writer that follows this team. I only get half the article because I don't pay for the subscription, but tell you what, he so many times you read Newark down a couple, down 5 at halftime, down 7, and then this huge change in the final 16 minutes when the 1991 Newark grad Jeff Quackenbush makes adjustments. Left side, it's Gilbert. His 3 is right there. Textbook dribble drive. They find Gilbert, the shooter, waiting to hit on that left wing, and he does. Ty Gilbert now with an 11-point night into double digits. Hemphill used his body, unable to finish. Hemphill got an offensive rebound and stepped through 2 defenders and put it in. Wildcats led by 15 for a moment there. Marcus Hemphill now with 9 in the game for Marcus Hemphill. Right side, it's Tro Glenn in rhythm. His 3 is no good. And an offensive rebound to Ruffin. Lean, but could not finish. Ball comes out near the top of the key, taken away by Gilbert. Cruiser fans wanted to walk as Gilbert and Brooks kind of collided. And runner on that left side is nicely done. Ty Gilbert getting going right now. 5 in the quarter, 13 in the game. And we're going to get, I think, a foul here, unless if it was on, are they giving Quackenbush a timeout? Because the Cruisers had brought the ball in, right? No, they're going to call Lamont Hampton's going to get the timeout. There's no way they would have granted a timeout or should have given a timeout to Quackenbush if the Cruisers had inbounded the basketball. It's a crumble cookie Cruisers timeout with 5:10 to play third quarter, and another one of those danger spots down 15, which when you're playing against Newark feels like 37-22 here in the third quarter. Be sure to look and check out and find tonight's Bexley Car Care play of the game. We'll post that as quickly as possible after this game is over. Bexley Car Care Care, locally owned and operated, 23 years in the business, led by Mike Kimbler, their outstanding CEO, certified to handle all your automotive needs. Call them at 236-5664. Bexley Car Care is the exclusive sponsor all season long of the Bexley Car Care Play of the Game. Thanks again to Ron and Beth Ireland at Ireland Spa, ready to help you relax, refresh, renew. Named a top 5 hair salon and a top 5 spa in Columbus. Go there for your haircuts, colors, massages, nail services, hair removal, skin care, and much more. 209 Winchester Cemetery Road in Canal, 1617 Hubbard Road in Lancaster. Visit IrelandSpa.com. And one final time, we say thanks to Jersey Mike's. They are tonight's official sub shop. Visit the brand new location on Gender Road. They are a proud supporter of Central Ohio high school sports. 15-point game. Ruffin just inside that 3-point line. Tried to play off 2 feet. Quackenbush took his shot and put it right back into his hands. Back out to Wagner. Now back to Ruffin. Right side Wagner open for a moment. His 3 no good. A lot of banging down there, and Hemphill on that one just outworked Jake Quackenbush and got the offensive rebound and put it in. So Marcus Hemphill with 7 in the quarter, 7 in 3.5 minutes, kind of single-handedly keeping the Cruisers in this game right now. Brooks thought about a Newark backdoor special there with Jake on the right wing. Instead elects to bring it out to Tyron Brooks. Brooks only a junior, 2-year starter, all-league guy a year ago. Quackenbush looking for some help. Will dribble to the right wing. Now going to back it down against Hemphill. Fading from 17 on the rim, no good. Irvin Royster's attempt at a follow-up is going to be blocked by Codolo. And apparently the Cruisers, after they possessed the basketball, the gesture there by A.J. Duffy was that Hemphill, I think, or Wagner, after he had it, kind of took that right foot and went backwards with it, and the heel hit the baseline. Quackenbush off the catch was bumped. So with 3:57 to play in the third quarter, is it going to be Hemphill? Nope. They're going to say the foul was on Jordan Wagner, who came over to help. First on Jordan, second on the team. Cruisers still hanging around, down 13. Lancaster hung around with these guys on Friday night. I think it ended up being a 12-point game. Little deceptive, though. Wildcats were up 20 at the end of 3. Quackenbush over to Tyron Brooks. Brooks working against the bigger, longer Tro Glenn. Broke a couple of bones in his neck, vertebrae in his neck. Second week of football season, just coming back to join the Cruisers. Irvin Royster got the step, and Marcus Hemphill said, Not sure that Jeff Quackenbush wants Irvin Royster shooting 17-footers, but there's a but here. For anybody else that can, it's one of those spots that it's better to shoot the 17-footer uncontested than to even shoot the 5-footer contested, right? Ron Hanna got something before that ball was inbounded. Hemphill just picked up 2 quick ones. He's got 3, and that's always significant but extra because he's the guy really going right now. But anyway, young players watching this broadcast, don't try to always get closer to the rim. If you're open 15 feet away and you're going to take a dribble and get to 12 feet and there's somebody there big that's going to contest it, shoot the 15-footer. Right side, fading is Ty Gilbert. Ty Gilbert and Marcus Hemphill have gotten going here in the third. Gilbert 7 in the quarter, 15 in the game. That's the difference in this game. Free throw line extended. Ruffin tried to find Melvin Shepard, and it was deflected back into his hands. Wagner's 3 no good. Good box out on that backside by Brooks. Didn't grab the rebound, but kept Melvin Shepard away. 15-point game. Under 3 minutes to play in the quarter. Tuesday Night Hoops presented by First Service Federal Credit Union. Right side, Gilbert is on fire. Ty Gilbert feeling it. He's got 18, 10 in the quarter. This is an 18-point basketball game. Biggest lead of the game. Ruffin to try to answer. Came up short. And a rebound to Jake Quackenbush. Wildcats trying to get back to the postseason and do damage as Ty Gilbert hits again. This is what he did to the Raiders on Gary Walters' court last Tuesday night, and he is replicating it right now. You give him an inch, and he's going to take 25 points like he did last Tuesday night. This is a 21-point basketball game, and Jeff Quackenbush out there right now, Price Cooper, giving a little bit of extra instruction to Alex Irvin Royster, and boy, you listen to every nugget he can give. We were going to go out. Got some Coopers that want to be coaches and just haven't made the trip yet, but have gotten permission from the 53-year-old head coach to come watch some Newark practices. I bet you they get after it just a little bit, you think, during practices, and we're all going to have clipboards writing down every single thing that Jeff Quackenbush says. That's a crumble cookie timeout, 45-24. I remember I asked Jeff Quackenbush about shot selection, but guys wanting shots. And this is what I love about the 53-year-old head coach. He looked at me and he said, Rick, he said, we don't have issues with guys wanting more shots in our program. Not only has he won, not only has he done it the right way, but he has built a culture at Newark where it is all about the team. And I tell you what, it is refreshing to see. You root for guys like that. It's just a group of guys that check ego at door, and it's fun when you see those egos left at the door and all you do is win. Underneath Wagner, double pumped, put it on the rim, no, and a rebound to Tyron Brooks for the Wildcats. They lead by 21, and they're going to get an offensive foul here as Melvin Shepard apparently beat Ty Gilbert to the spot, and Jeff Quackenbush almost looks frozen in disbelief on that Newark sideline, but they're going to get it on Ty Gilbert. It'll be his second, team second. That may be the only way you can stop Ty Gilbert in this third quarter. If you're just joining us, he and Tyron Brooks went for 49 points in a 17-point win against the Raiders last Tuesday night as Tyreek Ruffin dribbled that off his left big toe. It'll go back to the Cruisers that snapped a 28-game win streak for Reynoldsburg in the OCC Buckeye. Raiders had not lost since a loss to Newark back in the 2023-24 season, and it puts the Wildcats in the driver's seat. They take care of business. They're the outright OCC Buckeye champs. Left baseline, it's Gilbert. He'll dribble under the baseline, pick up his dribble, looking for help. It's Breckbill, and a foul out there on Ty Simpson. And for Simpson, it's his first. And boy, if I'm Lamont Hampton, I might be looking at Ty Simpson saying, why? I mean, he is not the guy to foul. Sean Breckbill would be the first guy to say, Rick Cooper, my role on this team is to set screens and move the basketball. 4 total points, but so probably not a guy you want to commit a foul against. 45-24, 80 seconds to play in this third quarter as they hand it off to Gilbert. Picked up tightly by Tro Glenn. Here's Breckbill, guarded by Cadolo. Over now to Gilbert. Back to Gilbert. Gilbert had his pocket picked by Tro Glenn. 2-on-1. Glenn to the other end. No. Simpson, as they had him in a headlock or a mini headlock, the offensive rebound, and he'll shoot 2. I think they're going to get Breckbill, aren't they, Coop? His first, team third. I think Lamont Hampton may be telling Tro Glenn, I like what you did at the other end, but give the basketball up. He had a 2-on-1 advantage there, and I think the right play there was clearly to drop it off to this guy at the free throw line right now. Would have been an easy layup. Instead, they're going to make Simpson hit 2. Breckbill will sit down as Jake Quackenbush is back in. Quackenbush with 13. Breckbill sits down scoreless. Ty Simpson, the senior, who missed all of last season with a leg injury. Second one is good. Ty Simpson makes the second. Ty Simpson with 2 points in this game. Cruisers now 4 of 5 at the charity stripe. And a foul here on Tro Glenn. So Tro Glenn picks up his second, team is over the limit, at least according to our numbers, and they are. So with 50.3 seconds to play in the quarter, Zach Meister will go to the line and shoot 2. First one is right there. We saw older brother Steele Meister at that 614 shot clock event the other day. Left before the final horn as the Wildcats were putting the final touches on a second half surge as they knocked off Jamie Kaczmarek and Toledo St. Francis de Sales. 47-26. Wagner a little bit out of control, no good. Quackenbush may have cleared off with that left hand, nothing called. Gets it to Meister. Sophomore back to Quackenbush, cutting to the rim, no. And a late foul from out on that right forecourt. A.J. Duffy, I think, saying somebody kind of pushed Quackenbush from behind, and that somebody is going to be Jordan Wagner. So Wagner with his second, team over the limit. Jay Quackenbush will go to the line and shoot 2. I think I said Crestview Hills, Kentucky. He'll go to Crestview, Kentucky. Don't go to Crestview Hughes. I have no idea where that is, but Quackenbush with 14, two-time All-League selection, first team last year. Special mention 2 years ago, grew 3 inches, added 25 pounds prior to his junior season. Been a gym rat. Jeff Quackenbush said he beats me into the gym and into school. Young man that just continues to want to get better. Second one is no good, so the lead 22. And leaking in transition, Quackenbush with 2 more. 16 for Jake, 6 here in the third quarter. 24-point basketball game as we're down to the final 10 seconds, and Ty Simpson just lost it out of bounds. And Lamont Hampton not happy with, I'm not sure, Simpson or Troglen. Final 10 of the quarter. Brooks will bring it up, working against Simpson. Down to 5, down to 3. Brooks into the lane, over Codolo, no. Irvin Royster had possession of it in terms of an offensive rebound, but by the time he did, the buzzer had sounded. 24 minutes in the books, and it was all Newark in that third quarter. The Wildcats a 22-11 run, and the lead now has expanded to 24, 50-26 as we head to the fourth quarter here on Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by First Service Federal Credit Union. Again, the advantage for the Wildcats in that third quarter is 22-11. Be a hero to your kids. Host a birthday party at Magic Mountain Family Fun Center. Those birthday party packages include entertainment, food, and fun for all ages. Magic Mountain Family Fun Centers. You bring the family, we bring the fun. Visit magicmountainfuncenter.com for more details. We appreciate their continued support. You see Eddie's Chicken and Waffles on your screen. They are tonight's official game sponsor. They do serve the best chicken and waffles in all of Central Ohio, and they're conveniently located at 3252 No Bixby in Columbus. It's chicken and waffles all day, every day at Eddie's. Call them at 829-7770 or visit eddieschickenandwaffles.com. Well, the Wildcats still got to take care again. Pickerington Central again. They'll have Reynoldsburg again on the road, and then a couple of tests in the non-league. One of them coming up this Saturday as they will play Olentangy Orange, and it's going to be interesting. They have Trayton Schrader, obviously, out on the perimeter. Trying to think of who they have around the rim. Got the big kid around the rim with some Division I offers. They will go to Orange on Saturday night. They got off to a slow start, at several football guys trying to get reacclimated to hoops, and Cruisers had them on the ropes on a Tuesday night about 2 weeks ago. Lost that game at the end, and okay, Orange is nice. Well, they proceed to go out 3 days later and beat a Hilliard-Bradley team that was one of the top in the area by 19. So definitely a dangerous team as Royster got loose and put it in. Little 3-man weave, lulled them to sleep, and Alex Irvin Royster all alone as Simpson able to save it as he couldn't possess it. It's a 3-on-2, now 4-on-2. Quackenbush to the rim, no, and they're going to get him for an offensive foul. So Tyreek Ruffin still playing hard, took one for the team, and Jake Quackenbush with his second player control foul of this game, his third, team first. But Olentangy Orange, of course, the Division I state champs from a year ago, but they do not look, the roster is totally different. Trayton Schrader, the only guy back that really gave them limited or, increased legitimate minutes. They got a wing guy, Aguila, that's pretty fun to watch. Xavier Aguila. They got a big kid, as we said, around the rim. I think it's Ohio U, isn't it, that's got an offer to him. What's his name? Grant Miller around the rim. Lefty, if I remember right? Right side, it's Tro Glenn, no good. And they're going to be coached well. Anthony Kalo, the outstanding Olentangy Orange coach, is that one punched out of bounds. Of course, Anthony Kalo's dad, the longtime coach at Westerville South, Ed Kalo, retired prior to last season, won 500 games in the 2016 Division I state championship, as Quackenbush to that fade again, and Alex Irvin Royster just outworking everybody on this floor right now. Melvin Shepard pops to the table. He'll come in at the next stoppage. Into the lane, and that pass deflected and taken away. It was Meister that threw it away. Ruffin 2-on-3, got under control but could not finish, and it goes out of bounds off Groveport. He doesn't make the shot, but Tyreek Ruffin did everything right. When you're playing Newark, there are guys waiting to try to force you, lull you, get you to take the bait and commit offensive fouls, and Ruffin did not do it. Kind of methodically worked his way to 10 feet, and got an injury right now as Tyreek laid it in. Is that Gilbert? So Tyreek Ruffin with points 5 and 6, and Ty Gilbert trying to get up, and now going to take a few more moments, and Jake Quackenbush able to help him up, and Gilbert, well, that's a good sign, able to get up and at least to make his way to the bench. But we touched on it earlier, young man, that this team looked a lot different last year without Ty Gilbert. Went down last year, this time of the year, with a severely sprained ankle in practice on the 15th of January, as Tyron Brooks to the other end. Points 9 and 10. Trying to see how many games he missed a year ago without missing plays out there. Ricky Cooper watching the floor. He missed that second meeting with Groveport on the 21st of January, as Melvin Shepard got an offensive rebound, and somebody in crimson and white got him. To Alex Irvin Royster, his second, team second, non-shooting foul. So in a 26-point game, I think fair to say that Ty Gilbert's night is done, as Hemphill attacked to the rim, and the ball goes off the thigh of one of the Wildcats. It'll stay here. Tro Glenn will bring it in. Your starting lineup, Jordan Wagner, Marcus Hemphill, Melvin Shepard, Tyreek Ruffin, and Tro Glenn. So Shepard in there in place of Cadolo. That's the only difference from the starting five, and a runner no by Tro Glenn, and a little too much body there by one of the newer guards, and that was Zach Meister who was guilty. First on Meister, third on the team. Good attack by Tro Glenn. He'll shoot a couple of free throws. Free throws 6 and 7 for the Cruisers. 4 of 5 right now for 80%. Glenn bends the knees and hits. So now 5 of 6 at the stripe. Tro Glenn 2 of 3. Most versatile defender on this team, according to Lamont Hampton, 6th-year Cruiser head coach. And a young man getting it done in the classroom with better than a 3.5 GPA. And it goes out of bounds, and it'll stay here with the Cruisers. So 25-point game, 5:44 to play. We'll see when these two head coaches elect to start emptying their bench a little bit. Barring some sort of monumental run here, the Wildcats are going to win. They're going to go to 14-0. They're going to go to 8-0 in the league, as Ruffin a catch and shoot 3, no good, and a battle for the rebound picked off by Irvin Royster. And they're kind of gesturing, they're going to say it's against Groveport Madison and Tro Glenn. So a loose ball foul on Glenn. is his third, first on the team in the quarter. So 5:35 to play in this game. 54-29, the Newark advantage, 25. Quackenbush, a little bit of trouble getting it in, and does so to Colton Peterson, 5'11 junior. Had a career-high 21 in a game against Logan last year in December. This is Zach Meister. Meister to Tyron Brooks. Left baseline, it's Meister. Goes cross court, stepping into a three. On the rim, no good. And a battle for the rebound. Still battling, taken away by Wagner. 2-on-2. Now 3-on-2. Wagner into the lane, no good. And a defensive rebound to Irvin Royster. And they're going to get Melvin Shepard for the foul. Second on Shepard, second on the team. Newark lost 3 starters from a year ago. Braylon Morris, a 3-year starter. Honorable mention All-State in his junior and senior year. 16.1 points a game a year ago. Really getting good minutes now up at NCAA Division II Hillsdale College in Michigan. Austin Rose, a 4-year starter at center. And Kalen Winbush, kind of the Alex Irvin Royster of last year's team. Defensive specialist like Austin Rose, go in, throw bodies around, get rebounds, and make winning plays. 54-29, right side 3 on the rim. Good box out by Melvin Shepard. Kept Irvin Royster off the boards. 2-on-1, beautiful pass by Ruffin. Wagner couldn't finish. Melvin Shepard had his shot blocked by Irvin Royster. Wagner chasing the play. Left side 3 is up and in. So Bodie Smith, 46% on threes, tied for the team best, gets his first points of the game, and the lead is now 28, 57-29. Cruisers back in action on Friday night at Lancaster. Get off next Tuesday. They go to Taze Valley on January 30th. We'll talk to Lamont Hampton after the game, courtesy of Great Clips. And last time we talked to the Cruiser head coach, they were hoping to add a game against Harvest Prep on that Saturday, January 31st. Cruisers have only got 21 games on the schedule. Remember, they had that 22nd game to open the year against Taft High School in the All-Ohio Classic at Licking Heights, and that one ended after about 5 minutes when there was a brawl in the stands. Officials said that game is over, so that's how they can add one here. Quackenbush underneath, right-handed reverse, laid it in. He knew shot blockers were lingering. Let's use that rim as a shield. Went to the right-handed reverse, and the lead matches the lead back on December 5th. It's 30. Hemphill takes it strong. The basket is good, and he was fouled. Irvin Royster, the guilty party. It's his third. Jeff Quackenbush, a long walk to the end of that Newark bench. And you would think that at some point here that he is going to unload that bench and get these guys out of here. They played twice in 3 days over the weekend. Marcus Hemphill, Bishop Hartley transfer, outstanding defensive end. Puts it in. 14 for Hemphill, and it's now 59-32, and a crumble cookie timeout called by Lamont Hampton and Groveport Madison. They were open till 10 Monday through Saturday, closed on Sundays. Crumble cookie features 7 cookie flavors daily and more than 200 flavors that rotate into those 7 spots every week. Pickup, delivery, catering are all available. Visit crumblecookies.com to learn more. Lancaster Sporting Goods post-game show is coming up. We'll take a look at tonight's Buffalo Wild Wings post-game stats, and may I remind you, it's the Buffalo Wild Wings in Grove City, a couple other locations in Grandview and Hilliard, so we encourage you to support the Buffalo Wild Wings locations that support Cruisers and Wildcats basketball. We'll take a look at tonight's Buffalo Wild Wings post-game stats, and we will talk to tonight's Ohio Christian University player of the game after this one is over. Flyers Pizza and Subs in Groveport's looking for ambitious, career-minded individuals that are passionate about pizza and people, both customers and staff. They are voted named one of America's premier independent pizzerias. You can join the team at Flyers Pizza in Groveport or at any of their 9 Central Ohio locations. You can apply right online right now at flyers.com/jobs. Flyers, proud to support Cruisers Athletics. There is just something different when you walk into the pizza shop at Flyers. As Wagner able to slap it loose from behind, punches it to Shepard. 3 on that right side, no good. Pretty good box out down there by Bodie Smith, taken away by Irvin Royster. Irvin Royster now to the left wing, and Meister back to that right baseline, and Bodie Smith. Somebody's going to empty their benches here in a 27-point game. Maybe Jeff Quackenbush saying, Lamont Hampton, you've got to make the first move, as Bodie Smith just hit a 3. So Smith with 2 threes and 6 points, and Wagner doing a lot of watch me right now. A lot of individual action, so the Cruisers still really not moving the basketball, or at least in spots. Right side, Smith nearly hit a 3rd one here in just a few moments. Here's Wagner, and he's going to shoot it again and put it up and in. Wagner with his 2nd field goal in this game. When the ball is moving out of the hand of Jordan Wagner, he is as good as any sophomore in Central Ohio. When it's not so much. 62-34, 2:15 to play in the game. Cruisers have got to start moving the basketball. 10 assists over 2 days, and against a team like Newark that does so much right defensively, it's just not going to work. Tyron Brooks just hit a 3. Brooks with 13. And so the lead now 65-34. Left side 3 by Tro Glenn is no good. And somebody coming in the game for Newark that has the freshman or JV team roaring over there. Breckbill is going to come in. And a couple of guys that we don't have on our varsity roster. Thank you, Jeff Quackenbush. Here comes Tate Taylor. Here comes Kofi Cadolo. Ty Cooper going to try to get in before the horn. Chavez Hurd, who's had a couple of big JV games, has checked in for the Cruisers as well. So those are some of the guys. Chavez Pie Hurd, the 6'3 freshman out there. So under 2 minutes to play. Wildcats are going to stay perfect. They're going to go to 14-0. They're going to go to 8-0 in the OCC Buckeye. Left side, back out to Breckbill. Breckbill out to a player to be named later. I think that's what they call it in trades. Pie Hurd tries to get a steal there, misses, 10-footer, no good. And Big Tate Taylor playing one of his first games for the Cruisers. The move in from Indiana, just deemed to be eligible in the last 7 to 10 days. The rebound, Pie Hurd underneath Cadolo, who put it up and in. It's an interesting spot for Kofi Cadolo. He's probably played his fewest minutes of the season tonight. Lamont Hampton electing to go small, and interesting in a 65-36 game to go to Cadolo here as DeVault's off some penetration, unable to finish. Branson DeVault, the 6'9 junior that got minutes in the regular rotation in that first meeting. Pie Hurd, no, and a rebound taken away by DeVault. So the lead is 29. Newark back in action, as we said, on Friday night. They are at Logan. And then they will play Saturday night at Olentangy Orange. Both of those are 7:30 games, as they're going to get a foul on Tro Glenn here. It'll be his 4th. And not over the limit yet. 4th on the team. Do not play that following Tuesday. Talking about Newark back in action Friday the 30th at Canal, and another big one on the schedule at Jim Allen Gymnasium against Hilliard Bradley, as somebody got loose on a little backdoor special, and that's number 15 with a basket for the Wildcats. Makes it 67-36. I think I know that kid that just got beat back door. I may be wrong, but he looks familiar. I think he sleeps in my house, doesn't he? Does he eat my food? He costs me money and just got beat back door. 67-36. And he lives in a house that all we talk about are Jeff Quackenbush backdoor specials. Thou shalt know better, Mr. Ty Cooper. First one is no good. So Kofi Kadolo with a free throw attempt here with 6.1 seconds to play. Lancaster Sporting Goods post-game show is coming up. Kadolo hits the second. He has 7 in this game, and it was 30 in the first meeting on December 5th. And Jeff Quackenbush looks at the guy bringing it up and basically says, "Don't you dare." And it'll be 30 in this meeting again here at Cruiser Arena as Newark wins that fourth quarter, and they win it by the score of 17-11, and they win this basketball game tonight by the final of 67-37. So a 30-point win. As we said, it was 69-39 on December the 5th. Same margin tonight, just 2 points less for both of these teams. Newark 17-11 in the fourth quarter, and they win tonight going away comfortably. Final score 67-37. The Lancaster Sporting Goods post-game show is coming up. We'll take a look at tonight's Buffalo Wild Wings post-game stats, and we will talk to tonight's Ohio Christian University player of the game. The Wildcats do stay perfect. They go to 14-0. They're 8-0 in the OCC Buckeye. They win on the road tonight, only their third road win of the year. They've played 2 neutral site games, but 9 of their first 14 wins have come at home. But they go to 14-0. Groveport Madison drops to 5-6, and the Cruisers are now 4-4 in OCC Buckeye play. The Lancaster Sporting Goods post-game show is coming up next. This is the Groveport Sports Network.
We are all searching for a place to belong, a place to fit in, a place to call home. We long for solid ground that allows us to grow far beyond our dreams, seeking guidance as we navigate life's lessons. Leaning on others' experiences to help unlock our full potential. Desiring authentic relationships, meaningful conversations, people to push us to success. Striving to define our purpose, find our mission, and following God's calling to change the world. We are all searching.
Back here on Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by First Service Federal Credit Union. Want to say hello to Marlon Elliott in the crowd today and watching this game, former Cruiser. Not only do I love Marlon Elliott, I love his whole family. I mean, these are people, Marlon, every once in a while, if a play happens and it's just bad defense, we do a little Mr. Elliott, that's too easy. How many times did we hear Mr. Elliott in this building yelling, that's too easy? And I just love that family. Good to see you, Marlon Elliott, 2022 grad that doing good things, refereeing basketball games and finding a way to make a living. One of the good guys that played in this program. We welcome you to the Lancaster Sporting Goods post-game show. Lancaster Sporting Goods, a proud supporter of Central Ohio high school sports for more than 20 years. Lancaster Sporting Goods has been serving teams and families all across Central Ohio. Whether you're looking for corporate apparel, uniforms, spirit wear, even a varsity jacket it. Let Tim Wolf and the team at Lancaster Sporting Goods customize your selection for your specific needs. Lancaster Sporting Goods, 115 South Columbus Street in Lancaster. Call them at 740-756-7477 or visit LancasterSG.com to learn a lot more. Let's take a look at tonight's Buffalo Wild Wings post-game stats. Try the Pick 6 for $19.99 at Buffalo Wild Wings. Choose 2 appetizers, 2 entrees, and 2 soft drinks, all for $19.99 to mix and match and enjoy the Pick 6 at Buffalo Wild Wings. Again, we encourage you to visit Grove City, Hilliard, and Grandview locations. We take a look at some of the final numbers in this game. We'll start with the Newark Wildcats, who improved to 14-0, 8-0 in the OCC Buckeye. They have now won, looking for that win streak, a 9-game win streak in league play. Last time they lost was a heartbreaker at home, 70-67. We were there, Valentine's last year, in a great basketball game against Jordan Fisher and Reynoldsburg. But tonight, the Wildcats have, 6 different guys score. Ricky Cooper, and I'm counting 3 guys in double digits. They get 21 tonight from Ty Gilbert. They get 18 from Quackenbush. Gilbert really got going in the second half. 13 of his 21 in the second period. Second half, Tyron Brooks had 13, 5 in the second half. They get a half dozen tonight from Bodie Smith on 2 threes in the fourth quarter. 4 tonight from Alex Irvin Royster. He averages 2.7. Did his job defensively, grabbing rebounds and mixing it up. And Steele Meister tonight hit 2 free throws and finished with 2. Newark, unofficially, we have them, 7 of 11 is what we have the Wildcats at the charity stripe tonight. And my Staples calculator says that is good for 64%. For the Groveport Madison Cruisers, who drop now to 5-6 overall. They have evened up their OCC Buckeye mark. They are now 4-4 in the division. They had more balance tonight. They had 7 different guys score. Tonight, Marcus Hemphill leads the way with 14. They get 7 tonight from Kofi Kadolo in much more limited minutes than we have seen for Kofi in recent weeks, all season long. He has been the starter that has logged big minutes, so I'm not sure what the storyline is there, but finishes with 7 tonight. They get a half dozen from Tyreek, so Reek now, after a 28-point night on Friday, had 7 on a tough shooting night against Afrocentric on Saturday when he went 2 for 12 from the field, 1 of 5 on threes. Tonight he can only manage 6, including only 2 in the final 16 minutes of basketball. They get 2 from tonight from Tro Glenn. Ty Simpson hit a pair of free throws and finished 2, and Melvin Shepard scored his 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th points of the season, finished with 4 points for Groveport Madison. The Cruisers tonight, 7 of 10 at the charity stripe for 70%. Wildcats led 15-6 after 1. They won the second quarter 13-9. They led by 13 at the break, 28-15. And again, the adjustments and the ability to come out in that third quarter. Toledo St. Francis found that out on Sunday, and the Cruisers find it out tonight. Newark, a 22-11 run in that third quarter. Cruisers are hanging around at that point. They're down 13, but after a plus 11 quarter for Newark, the lead balloons to 24. It's 50-26, and the Wildcats put the finishing touches on their 14th win with a 17-11 run in the final 8 minutes, and they win tonight by 30. By the final score of 67-37. Those are tonight's Buffalo Wild Wings post-game stats. Join Buffalo Wild Wings and try the Ultimate Sampler wings. You can pick any 4 of your favorite appetizers and build your own personalized Ultimate Sampler. You can try it today at Buffalo Wild Wings in Grove City, in Hilliard, in Grandview. We appreciate the support of Buffalo Wild Wings. So those are a look at some of the post-game stats. Ricky Cooper will take another break and be back to select and talk to tonight's Ohio Christian University Player of the Game and put a wrap on another game here on Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by First Service Federal Credit Union. More of the Lancaster Sporting Goods post-game show after this.
We are all searching for a place to belong, a place to fit in, a place to call home. We long for solid ground that allows us to grow far beyond our dreams, seeking guidance as we navigate life's lessons. Leaning on others' experiences to help unlock our full potential. Desiring authentic relationships, meaningful conversations, people to push us to success. Striving to define our purpose, find our mission, and following God's calling to change the world. We are all searching.
Well, it's a final here at Cruiser Arena. Groveport Madison drops to 5-6. They're 4-4 in the division as the Newark Wildcats come into town and sweep the season series with Groveport Madison. Cruisers even the series. They what do you call that, Rick? What's the word I'm looking for? Split the series. Thank you. Big words at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Split the series last year. Newark had won 38 of the last 41 meetings coming into this one tonight, and they do it in impressive fashion as they have been most of the year. Had a little bit of a hiccup last Friday at Lancaster, but you talked to Jeff Quackenbush and he said, Rick, it's not always going to look pretty. There's going to be nights that it's a grind. We're getting everybody's best effort, and and then there's the fact that they had some big games that get a little bit more attention, and no matter how you try to tell guys, hey, we got to be focused every night. You're playing against a state Final Four team on Sunday, biggest game in a long time last Tuesday night, and that 17-point win against Reynoldsburg, and so all things considered, they came in and were extremely focused tonight, got out of the gate quickly, played through Jake Quackenbush early, and it was guys like Tyron Brooks in that first half who had 8 points, helped the cause, and really Ty Gilbert in that second half put the final nails in the coffin with a big second half, 13 in that third and fourth quarter to help propel the Newark Wildcats to victory. So Cruisers coming up next. They're at Lancaster on Friday night, Friday the 30th at Tays Valley, Tuesday, February 3rd, home against Reynoldsburg, Friday, February 6th on the road at Pickerington Central, and Tuesday, February 10th at Bishop Hartley. Those are games coming up. Again, there very likely will be a Saturday, January 31st game in there against Harvest Prep. Last time we talked to Coach Hamp, they were working on that, and I have no idea whether that's a home game, an away game. but Harvest Prep year in and year out is a pretty good basketball team. They have given the Pickeringtons a little bit of trouble in recent years, and so that'll be a tough test and another good test for this basketball team as now we get into the final 5 or 6 weeks of this regular season. So you're trying to build momentum and just keep getting, as Shan Trusley told us Sunday night from Westerville North, we just want to get 1% better every week. Just continue to be moving in the right direction for postseason basketball at the end of February and into the month of March. Newark home against Logan. I may have said away at Logan. Home against Logan on Friday night. Now I'm second-guessing that. Check on the Max Preps there, Coop, because I've got a 7 o'clock start, and Newark doesn't start games at 7. So I think that's an away game at Logan on Friday night, at Olentangy Orange on Saturday the 24th, at Canal Winchester on Friday the 30th, before finally getting back home 6 o'clock on Saturday, January 31st against Brett Norris and Hilliard Bradley. It is a home game on, and is it a 7:30 tip then? It is 7 o'clock on Friday night. I know Logan likes that, but I thought it was just on the road. I know they've got a little bit more of a drive, so maybe Jeff Quackenbush agreed. So Friday night, 7 p.m. is when the Chieftains come to town. And you look big picture here. What are the games that realistically could keep this team from not running the table? I think they'll have their hands full Saturday at Olentangy Orange. Hilliard Bradley won't be easy on Saturday, January 31st. And then really the two big ones left in the league, Tuesday, February 3rd at Pickerington Central, and Friday, February 13th at Reynoldsburg. And if the Raiders take care of business the next couple of weeks, there would be a lot riding on that game February 13th, theoretically a share of the OCC Buckeye division. So that is what's coming up for the Newark Wildcats. There is no rematch in this series. It's a second and final meeting here in 2025-26. Next broadcast for us will be in this building 2 weeks from tonight, February the 3rd, when the Raiders from Reynoldsburg come to town, 7 o'clock. The Sedalia Dental pregame show, 7:30, is the Birch Tavern opening tip, and all of it is part of Tuesday Night Hoops and presented exclusively by First Service Federal Credit Union. Did you know that your checking account could be so much more? First Service has checking options with built-in warranties, cell phone protection, cash rewards, dividends, and the list goes on. The Platinum and First Choice VIP options cannot be beat. Find out more by calling 836-0100 or by visiting firstcu.com. So again, next time we talk to you, February 3rd, home against Reynoldsburg. We go to Upper Arlington on February 17th. We go to Canal on Friday, February 20th, before finishing up our regular season broadcast coverage on Tuesday, February 24th with a home game against Grove City. Want to say thanks to the head coaches in this game, Lamont Hampton and Jeff Quackenbush from both of these schools. Thanks to Groveport Madison assistant coach Coley Adebanjo. Thanks to tonight's Ohio Christian University player of the game, talking about Marcus Hemphill, who had 10 in the second half and 14 for the game. Really played well. Rebounded, defended, made good decisions. We congratulate him. Thanks to Groveport Madison Athletics Supervisor Tommy Snyder and Newark statistician Harry Bollinger. Thanks to tonight's official game sponsor, Eddie's Chicken and Waffles. They are a proud supporter of Cruisers Athletics, serving the best chicken and waffles in all of Central Ohio. Conveniently located at 3252 No Bixby in Columbus. Enjoy chicken and waffles all day, every day at Eddie's. Visit eddieschickenandwaffles.com. You can order a permanent digital download of tonight's broadcast. It'll stay on our Facebook page free of charge the next 30 days, but maybe you want a permanent copy. You want it with high definition video. All the details on how you can pick up a copy are on our screen right now. Well, that puts a wrap on Tuesday Night Hoops, presented by First Service Federal Credit Union from here at Cruiser Arena. For Ricky Cooper, Price Cooper, Lamont Hampton, Jeff Quackenbush, Price Cooper, and our entire Groveport Sports Network broadcast team, my name is Rick Cooper, saying so long from Cruiser Arena here in Groveport, Ohio, where the Newark Wildcats stay perfect, and they do it in impressive fashion by the final of 67-37. We'll talk to you 2 weeks from tonight when the state runners-up from a year ago, the Reynoldsburg Raiders, come to town. Airtime is set for 7 p.m. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody.